Welcome back to the Yokohama Arena. A second day of play here at the Daihatsu Japan Open. First round matches today, and after men's doubles we turn our attention to women's doubles, and it features the winners here from 2 years ago, Jeong and Kim Jeong, up against the two-time former world champions, the home pair of Matsumoto and Nagahara. Now, as with all matches today, it's from the bottom half of the draw, and you can see it's from the third quarter. And also in this section is a match that's on court right now between the Thai pair and the Americans. The Americans, first Americans to get a medal at World Junior Championships, Corbett and Lee. Huge talent they are too. So to our match though, on court number one, and leading the pairs out were the former champions Jeong and Kim Jeong. There they are, won the title 2 years ago, beating their teammates Baek-ha Na and Liu Lim in the final. Well, this will be a fifth meeting between these two pairs, and as you can see with the previous four, it is the Japanese pair who've won 3 of them, but the last time they met it was the Koreans that won. That was the quarter-final of last year's China Masters, also a 750 event on the HSBC BWF World Tour, which is exactly what this Japan Open is, a 750 event. Well, in Shenzhen last year, it was 3 games when these two pairs met, and it was an hour and 47 minutes of thrilling badminton. Well, if we have a match half as good as that, we're in for a treat today. So here is the Olympic silver medalist in the mixed doubles, Jeong, 24 years of age, from the Korean capital of Seoul. Making their second appearance at this event, which means that as they won 2 years ago, they've never lost in this event. They pulled out last year when they were the number 7 seeds due to injury. Kim Jeong is 26 years of age, and she's the one, obviously, that's back from injury because her partner has been playing and playing extremely well, including that Olympic silver. Her daughter of Chung So-young. I'll come to that a little more in a minute because Chung So-young is a previous winner of this event. Mayu Matsumoto turned 29 earlier this month from Sapporo on the island of Hokkaido. Number 6 on the world rankings at the moment. It did spend a total of 27 weeks as world number 1s across 2 different spells. And Wakana Nagahara is 28, also from Hokkaido. And now, 5 years ago, they reached the final of this event, losing to Kim So-young and Kong Hee-young. And that was the last time that a pair from Japan was in the final of the Japan Open women's doubles discipline. Semi-finalists last year as well, so
ready to play.
They've had a good series of results at their home events because quarter-finalists in 2022 as well. Our court officials for this one from Hong Kong and Sri Lanka. Chung So-young, not mother of this player, but mother of her partner, won Olympic gold in badminton's first ever Olympics, as we look at the Korean coach Lee Kyung-won, and that was in Barcelona in 1992. Nikishima. It's a tiring day for all you coaches, isn't it? going from one court to another. You were telling me last night over dinner that you used to come as the only coach and you had players on different courts and you had to rush from one court to another. You were in the hall all day long. I think some of the coaches have been given time off actually after the Olympics as well.
I think so too.
Yeah. Well-earned rest.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Matsumoto and Wakana Nagahara, Japan. And on my left, Jeong and Jeong, Korea. Matsumoto to serve to Jeong. Level play.
So the two-time former world champions and beaten finalists here 5 years ago, Matsumoto and Wakana Nagahara, get this first round women's doubles match underway against the former champions Jeong and Jeong. Wonderful to see this young lady back after all her injury woes. This is actually their first tournament, the Koreans, for a little over 4 months. Last time they played was at the Badminton Asia Championships in Ningbo in China.
So it's over 1-all.
Did you see who chose Enstein?
I think the Japanese chose to serve, and then eventually the Koreans just chose to stay on the far end. That's the way how I interpreted it.
Oh, that's a delightful angle. Jeong, that is fantastic. Do you know how many finals her mother was in women's doubles?
No.
5.
In Japan Open?
In the Japan Open.
Okay, I thought it was overall finals, but I wouldn't have gotten to those 5 either.
4 times a winner.
That.
Wonderful player.
All of them with Jeong?
No, with 3 different partners.
That's
Versatile player too. In fact, I played against her mum in 2 finals.
Yeah.
Won 1 and lost 1.
So 1 here in Yokohama?
Yeah. No.
No?
No, now you're testing me. I think it was 88. I lost to her mother when she was playing with Chung Yoon-hee. Then a year later, beat them in the final. Yeah. Probably about the only time I beat her mother. She was a wonderful player. You know, if I hadn't been the opposite side of the net, I could have just so enjoyed watching her play.
Yeah.
We thought we might see some long rallies here, Steen.
Exactly, and the start has
not disappointed.
Entertained us to very good rallies. I think we have the same sort of challenge here as in the previous match, that 3 of the 4 players have been at the Olympics and had different fates, so to speak. Jeong must be thrilled to get that silver medal. Japanese probably a little bit disappointed didn't get out of dynamite group in women's doubles with the now Olympic champions Chen and Jia and Malaysian, Indonesian combinations. But Kim Hae-jung, she must be all fired up to be playing at this level again.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's a missed opportunity by Nagahara.
6-2.
That's wide and long
7-2.
from Matsumoto. Oh, that's lovely. Then see the way she held that steam.
8-2.
That final shot was held and held and held. Watch, here it comes, and then that final little push. Terrific skill.
Over 3-8.
Short. Yeah, good follow-up by Kim.
Insisting. And that's super important
9-3.
to put pressure on the opponent also mentally to know that, hey, I'm not quitting. I'm just keep on going. So can you hold your quality in your defense? Because if you can't, I'm gonna kill it.
Oh, I like that block from Nagahara. That changed the whole momentum of that rally.
4-9.
This one.
Yeah.
That was super.
On the par 3, women's singles, Jeong from Chinese Taipei. Plays against Swanida Jackson from Thailand. 3コートで女子シングルス、ソン・シュミン選手、チャイニーズタイペイ。スパンガン・テソン選手、タイを行います。
She's seeing all the action, Nagahara, at the moment.
5-9.
Sensible tactic by the Koreans? Or are they overdoing
I
it?
think so, but you have to be careful not to overdo it because then you get the player started. And we've also seen that Maya Matsumoto, she can play a lot of winners, but she can also be very, very error-prone at times. See, that was not Nagahara's fault. That was Matsumoto who couldn't hold her defense there.
10.
That shot did not have quality, but it was killed on Nagahara. And that's what some people sometimes mistake.
Misinterpret it.
Misinterpret, that's right.
It's gone long of the back line, and it's a
11-5.
very healthy 6-point advantage for the former champions, Jeong Na-eun and Kim Hae-jung of Korea here at the mid-game interval of the opening game.
じゃあもう一回前込みそれもうちょっと距離が自分次勝ってたら相手が本当に待ってるから次がちょっと間に合わないもうとりあえず大きな展開してスペースあったら落とす OK それを継続できるように自分仕掛けたら逆に輪に相手の輪に入るこれを避けれるようにねラリーもできる
Top 1, 20 seconds. Top 1, 20 seconds. Game third. 11-5.
So 11-5 as play resumes in this opening game of this first round women's doubles match. You know, you made a very astute observation earlier on and said Kim Jeong was the only player not to go to the Olympics, and because she's been out injured for over 4 months, you know, she was rearing to go. I think she's the player that's making the difference on court right now.
Yeah.
That enthusiasm, that delight to be back on the big stage.
Yeah, if you play with a partner who is like that, how can you not be motivated yourself? That's just impossible. And then
it's perfection.
13-5.
Lovely punch clear. I think she knows it. She simply took it too late, too low from Jeong. That's why she made the error. It's a beautiful block. Super, super shot. Not really enough on the return of serve, has to be said, from Jeong Na-eun.
Be ready. Game. It's over. 14-7.
Is there something that the Japanese pair are doing wrong tactically, do you think, Skiing?
I think they are trying to do the right things. They're trying to take the pace out of the rallies, trying to block, trying to play a high clear, avoid the fast-paced flat game where especially the speed of movement of Kim is worrying for the Japanese. But I just feel that this is one of those Olympic blues things where at the moment they're playing with the drift, so they need to be a lot on the attack.
Like that.
Yeah. Because they would have a great chance of killing it. On the other hand, if they're not in the correct position, they hit perhaps a little bit too flat and expose themselves to counter-attacking. So it's I expect to see more from Nagahara and Matsumoto when they change ends and play up against the drift. Here it would be beneficial for them to be on the attack, but the Korean defense is so good, so it's not like you can attack 2-3 times from the backcourt and let players in.
Yeah.
And they don't. The Japanese, they barely utilized that rotational play.
Serves over.
I don't know if I answered the question. Did I do that?
Well, that's not utilising the rotational play by the Japanese pair. Is that by design? Because to me, the favoured formation is to have Nagahara at the back of the court and Matsumoto forwards. So do they try and stay in that
they try to
formation deliberately?
I think so, because I think that, I mean, the movement is not the strength of the former two-time world champions. It's their power. But when they play opponents that has good defense, then it's difficult for Nagahara to sort of activate Matsumoto at the front court. So basically, Nagahara is the not so dangerous player, and that's why we see the opponents try and target her, because there's really not much danger. The danger comes when Matsumoto gets the shuttle, whether it's from the back court or the front court.
16.
Yeah.
And in order to make Nagahara a little bit more unpredictable, I think they should work on some kind of rotational play and set up some set situations where Matsumoto moves out and Nagahara can come forward.
Interesting. I wonder as well whether they shouldn't be targeting Jeong because, as we were discussing a moment ago, I think Kim Hae-jeong is playing a blinder at the moment.
Yes.
Playing extremely well.
I think in the second game we're going to see them try and keep Kim a bit more on the back line. But that's difficult for them here because they're playing with the drift.
Yeah, they're trying to in this rally, I think, Steve. Keep
but
Kim
is it
to the
consistent?
I think Kim's played more shots from the back of the court in this rally than
She has.
The rest of the opening game combined. It's certainly the longest running of the match, isn't it? Oh, yes. That is a wonderful finish to the rally by Matsumoto. That was emphatically put away.
88 shots, wow. That's what it took to get an opening big enough.
Yeah. To the same place.
Good shot.
That's super work, isn't it, from Kim?
It is. First the straight smash and then making her way a little bit forward and then go all cross on Matsumoto. Right.
Having played 3 reverse slice straight drops before that.
19-10.
2 points away from the opening game, the former champions from 2 years ago, Jeong and Kim.
So it's over 11-19.
Nice block. Well, it was just occurring to me before Matsumoto made that error on the drop shot, but she wasn't involved in the rally really at all.
No.
And I think she came back on one that she shouldn't have come back on, hence the error. And that error means that it is 9 game point opportunities for the former champions from Korea. Nice block. That's a super shot from Matsumoto.
So it's over 12-20. You ready, Jeong?
Great interception. What a good rally. Brilliant.
13-20.
Even a nod of approval from Coach Nakashima. Two game points well saved. Well, we've seen some extraordinary comebacks in badminton. And if they were to do this, that would be right up there with them. It's short.
And this could spell trouble for the Koreans potentially, because I mean, there's a big difference mentally losing the first game 21
11 they were at one stage. It was
compared to 16-17 or something like that.
exactly. Good point. Loose serve from Nagahara. And this time they convert.
21-15.
Fifth game point opportunity. 21-15. Opening game in favour of the Koreans, Jeong and Kim Hae-jeong. Opening game, 23 minutes.
지금 잘하고 있고
最後の1分2、3球あたりで寝てまいります。無理するだったら逆にボンミスが出てくる。あとは特にレシーブ相手の本当に見えるから、ここはもう一回柔らかい上げて、ここスペース事前にストレートだったらクロスの赤足、ダメだったらもう一回後ろに変える、これを繰り返す。ここもう一回トライやってみて、特にパンパンワンツーは特に筋が結構タタタタタタこのリズムを避けれるように、もう一回トライしてみて。左やらないの。
Top 1, 20 seconds. Top 1, 20 seconds.
So a lot to think about for the two-time former world champions, Mayu Matsumoto and Wakana Nagahara, because they're one game down against the unseeded Koreans, Jeong and Kim.
One love.
Well, if that first rally is anything to go by, Steen, I think your comment from the opening game that when they're playing from the far side of the court, they're going to have to attack more. Look very positive in that opening rally of this second game.
Yeah, I think there's going to be two significant things in this second game that we need to keep an eye on. One is if the Koreans can find the back line of Matsumoto and Nagahara, can they hit to the middle of the tram line and lift consistently there, then it spells trouble for the Japanese attack. And on the other hand, can Japanese hold the Koreans even better here from the backcourt? This one, the thing that speaks for it is that the Japanese player is lifting against the drift, but the Koreans get a little bit help hitting with the drift, so their smashes is going to bite a little bit more. And they're not afraid to go into the fast-paced flat game, the Koreans. That's their advantage here. So these two things, I think, is going to be of importance for how this second game is going to unfold. And what speaks a little bit for the Koreans is that they don't need to lift high all the time. They can lift flat and rely on, if the Japanese put power in the shots a little bit too flat, then they can go into the flat game and counter. Yeah. Super play.
Well, they've continued exactly where they left off the opening game, haven't they, the Koreans?
Two variations on Nagahara, and then finish it cross on Matsumoto.
Yeah, that's well taken, that final shot from Mayu Matsumoto.
4.
Nagahara, and look at the body language.
2.
If you're a Japanese fan, that is concerning.
6-2.
Well, they had success at the beginning of the year, did this Japanese pair, winning the India Open Super 750 event, like this Japan Open, second highest tier World Tournament on the BWF World Tour. Oh, my goodness, I'll tell you, just made it. And I think it's significant, probably, Steen, that was their first title for almost 3 years since winning the All England Championships in 2021.
Yeah, I think so. And I thought after their first match at the Olympics, I thought, wow, this got potential. But then they lost the last 2 matches, didn't they get out of the group stage?
Yeah.
And I think so the Olympics was in many ways a confirmation of the Tokyo Olympics. The players or pairs that played good in Tokyo, they confirmed their medals in Paris, and also I noticed that no pair in the doubles disciplines that had trouble serving went anywhere.
In the women's doubles we're talking about.
And also the men's doubles and the mixed doubles.
Has gone wide. And of course, I think your mind is on the fact that Nagahara serves forehand
serve.
And appears to lack confidence, but you know, then the whole theory is blown out about the Tokyo Olympics, where Gracie Apoli, who also served forehand and appeared to lack confidence in the low serve, just seemed to flick the whole time. Not even a flick half the time, it was just sort of getting the shuttle into play. And they won gold, so...
Trying to aim for the middle of the field. Yeah.
Are you saying that women's doubles pairs now have learned from that and learnt to exploit pairs that serve forehand?
I think that would be stretching it a little bit, but it's a huge disadvantage not being able to serve consistently, and that disadvantage is amplified at the Olympics because it's only so rarely the Olympics comes by every 4th year. And we saw it on the game point in the first game here, where Kim Hae-jung just killed it directly. That rarely happens in women's double.
Not when somebody's serving backhand.
No. Making their way back here now. Matsumoto and Nagahara.
Five of the last 6 points for 7-all.
She's got to give a string go or what?
7.
But Kim Hae-jung needs to get back on track here.
6 of the last 7 points now to Matsumoto and Nagahara.
Nagahara has been playing much better here in the last period. He's come a little bit closer to the net in the defense, able to get quicker to the drop shots. Kim Hae-jung can't really play herself into a better position.
9-7.
7 of 8 points.
So if I were the Koreans, or especially Kim, I would try and change the placement of the drop shots from the backcourt a little bit to try and find the middle between the two players a bit more.
Oh, brilliant. What a rally. Super. Wonderful play.
Wipe the court, please. Wipe the court, please. Wipe the court, please.
Well, that
Serve's over.
run of 7 of the last 8 points has put a different complexion now on this second game, hasn't it? I think psychologically as much as anything.
Super, super important for the Japanese.
Thank you.
Great play by the Koreans.
9-all.
Nagahara not able to play herself and her partner into a better position. There's Lee Kyung-won. The coach of the Korean pair.
Wide.
10-9.
It is all about the attacking play and involving the front court player.
Yeah.
We're rarely seeing any winners from the back of the court. Lovely drop. What a rally. That is fabulous from Matsumoto and Nagahara.
10-all.
Beautiful drop there. So it is the number 4 seeds from Japan who have the advantage at the mid-game interval, but it could not be closer. There is only 1 point in it. First to 11 at the mid-game interval. Well, they found the 4. Is it in time, though? Still desperately close.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds.
そのまま我慢しない落とす高いから相手足短い上手にいうこと甘いだったら思い切っていくっていうそれを継続できるように深呼吸して
Interesting to see how the Koreans are going to respond to this.
11-10. Play.
I agree. Do you think they'll try and get themselves back on the attack again? That's why they were doing so well.
I think they will. And I also think that since Nagahara has lifted her game, they're going to have to face Matsumoto a bit more than they initially would like to. So they've got to have a plan on what do we do when we basically have to activate her a little bit more. And one of the things would be to move her before she gets to hit. So she's a little bit off balance. One of the reasons I'm interested to see what the Koreans are going to do is also that I feel that Lee Kyung-won is a really, really good coach. But at the Olympics, the Korean women's doubles, they disappointed me a lot. I saw Bacon Lee win Indonesia Open in convincing style just weeks before the Olympics, and they were totally gone at the Olympics. And it seems like there's the idea that Lee Kyung-won needs help at the big events, and I seem to think things go south when that happens.
That's a beauty.
14-10.
12 of the 16 points since 2-6 down.
Yeah, and the match has totally changed.
Yeah.
Here's the chance.
Landed in. Well, there's a challenge. First challenge of this match.
Great work by this lady. Nagahara stepping up.
I have a feeling that caught the line. Yeah, she has really upped her game, hasn't she, Nagahara?
Helped by the change of ends. That was on.
Yeah. Well done, line
Challenge
judge.
unsuccessful. One challenge remaining. 15-10. Play.
This is 6 straight points, you know. 9-10 down they were.
Is playing much better defense also. That was early on in the rally where she just played it straight.
Seven straight points.
And now it's Kim, who's not that dangerous at the back court.
16.
That's well left. That's a good smash. Just picking up on that point, I mean, I know that was excellent attacking play from Kim Hye-jeong, but you said that, you know, she was struggling from the back of the court, struggling to make a difference. She's hitting with the drift.
She's hitting with the drift.
And
but
is it lack of variety of shots, or is her placement gone awry, or what's gone on?
I think the Japanese, they can more consistently get the right length on it, so it's not so difficult for them to gauge how much pace to put into the defensive shots. So, and I think she hasn't played with the same variety. I think she's become a little bit carried away trying to hit hard early in the rally. What worked so well was the drop shots, 2-3 drop shots, then a powerful hit, and then the cross. And that's lacking. She's sort of gotten a little bit carried away, forgotten how she could win from the attack.
How to build the rally.
Yeah.
Well, that's a super. Hopefully that will restore a bit of confidence.
13-17.
interception by
17.
Jeong here. Because Nagahara was close. Look how early she takes that one. But that was read by Jeong.
Only 3 points the deficit, and all of a sudden, for the Koreans, it's believable again, having felt that they were losing rally after rally after rally.
So it's over 18-14. Jeong.
Oh, that's a nice drop.
And she's getting all the time in the world to figure out where she wants to hit it. Nagahara with high distance. I don't agree on that from a Korean perspective.
You want to see flatter pushes.
Much more flat than invite the Japanese to play the flat game.
So 2 points away from the second game and forcing a decider. The Japanese pair. Lovely return. Lovely.
So it's over.
And I think there's room there
15,
every time
19.
Matsumoto is serving from the odd field. Is it odd or uneven?
Well, it's an odd number.
Odd numbered, yeah.
Yeah.
16-19.
Odd or even. Nicely done. It's game point opportunities to level this first round encounter. 1 game apiece.
20. Game point 16. Play. Game.
Nice smash across the body. That's gone long, and it is indeed 1 game all in this women's doubles. What a great comeback
And Wakana Nagahara,
by the number 4
21-16.
seeds from Japan.
1 game all.
Umpire confirms that it's 1 game all, with Matsumoto and Nagahara coming from 2-6 adrift in that second game to win it 21-16. This is the final rally of game number 2. The push is long from the Koreans. And it means it is 1 game all. 47 minutes into the match, and we will be treated to a third and deciding game.
いいいやそれパターンは金に特に前ちょこっとそれ一貫させなかったら大体ポイント取っているあともう少し伸びるね球筋もうちょっと相手の何個がアウトだとちょっと高さ意識するあとメイクの方がチャンス取ってもう一回回す完全に整えると思い切っていや本当に忘れない
押してから前で打てるようになってきたから相手引いてきたからで前引いてきたからねもう一回しっかり自分たちで押してダメから押してくる
Top 1, 20 seconds. Top 1, 20 seconds. Wakana.
Well, what a turnaround in that second game by the 2-time former world champions, Matsumoto and Wakana Nagahara. Again, 2-6 adrift, looked to be struggling.
Level
Only 1 point in it
Play.
at the mid-game interval of that second game, and from that mid-game interval, they really ran away with that second game. So the question is, Steen, what have the Koreans got left to have another twist in the tail of this women's doubles? Nice smash.
And this is where they probably wish they would have closed out that first game when they had the opportunity to do it at 2011. They played 4 good rallies, the Japanese, towards the end of that first game. And, I think we're going to try and build on that, trying to go more on the attack.
Nicely done. It's extraordinary to think, Steve, of all the wonderful women's doubles pairs that the host nation, Japan, have had in over the last decade or decade and a half, that there's only been 2 different pairs to win this Japan Open title. They've won 3 titles because the former Olympic champions, Matsumoto and Takahashi, won the title twice, whereas Korea have won the last 3 women's doubles titles here.
Yeah.
Seems to be a tournament that the Koreans like playing as far as women's doubles is concerned.
The other Japanese player to have won it.
The other Japanese pair was Fukushima and Hirota. 6 years ago. Beat Chen Qingcheng and Jia Yifan in the final, if you remember. Oh, that's well put away by Nagahara.
That's been the big difference between first game and the rest of the match, that Wakano Nagahara has lifted her game immensely. That's really well done. And we discussed it, that if you target one player too much, then you're in danger of this happening.
So it's over. 3.
So it's a fine line.
That's overdone. Nice idea. Wrong execution. Nice.
That's over. 5-4.
Lovely variation, isn't it, Steve?
And it looks easy to block it there, but to make it stop short of the Korean players and to get it over the net, it takes a lot of touch to play that shot.
Out. So it's over. 5-all.
That's a nice variation. Yeah. I think that cross-court drop from this lady, Kim, that's the one that turned the whole momentum of the rally.
It's super important to have the guts to play these shots, to open up your opponent, to invite your partner to rotate, and if you don't do it, it becomes too stationary.
A little bit of good fortune there for Matsumoto.
6-all. Play.
One game all and 6-all. Signs of frustration there.
Yes, I think so. I think I get a feeling of a deja vu. I don't recall whether we called that match in was it China Open? Did they play each other in China Open? But I think I've seen a match where Kim could no longer convert her backcourt play to chances.
Serve's over.
There's a winner from midcourt area.
7-all.
Never gives much away, does she, Lee
No,
Jeong?
no. A little bit behind midcourt, I think it was. But in front of the tram lines. They really got to hang in there now. Both pairs.
Just wide of the mark.
Serve's over. 8-7.
Yeah, well, we're not seeing it at the moment, but I can tell you that Kim Jeong, after that error, was walking around with hands on hips. Now, what does that tell you? Big frustration.
Serve's over. 8-all.
Good drive defence.
Super in the flat game.
Well, we're just seconds away from the match clock ticking over the hour mark. And it's one game all and 9-all. Nothing, absolutely nothing to choose between these two pairs.
Good cross smash.
Serves over. 10-9. Serves over. 10-all.
Well, I said there was nothing to choose between them. Wonderful.
Serves over.
The
11-10.
Olympic silver
Interval.
medalist in the mixed doubles,
Jeong
Jeong playing that final shot before the change of ends. And it means that the 2022 winners from Korea have a 1 point advantage at the change of ends here in this third and deciding game.
Top 1, 20 seconds. Top 1, 20 seconds. Players on court. Coaches, return to your chair. Mario. On court now.
So 11-10
Right.
as the umpire calls for play to resume in this third and deciding game. Well, interesting, Steen. Both pairs have enjoyed more success from the far end of the court. Do you think the ends is going to make a difference here, or what's it going to come down to?
Yeah, that's a good question. Most likely the ends are going to be decisive. I think it's up to the Koreans to come up with a better plan than they had in the second game. And to me, that plan involves variation. They've got to somehow solve the attacking situation. They cannot bail out. I don't think they can live like that. That's not the solution.
So they've got to keep hitting down, but they've got to vary it.
I think so,
Yeah.
and I think it's like sometimes start with these cross smashes, sometimes target the middle between the two players, but if the Japanese pair feels that, okay, our defense is solid again, then I think they get secure, and that's dangerous for the Koreans. That's it.
Serves over. 12.
To go for
11.
the unexpected angle like that.
Go for the unexpected angles. Extremely quick on their feet. The Koreans really proactive in following up.
And from a Japanese perspective, Steve, what have they got to focus on?
Yeah, they got to stand their ground in the defense and eventually get on the attack. To stand their ground in the defense, it's important that they move forward so they get to the drop shots really quickly. In one side, they can play the first defense flat and then they can lift again. That's okay. on the block.
That's a wonderful smash.
And there's signs that Kim Hae-jung is not standing her ground. It must be difficult for her as well, playing with an Olympic silver medalist in a different category. You've got to start thinking, do I have a partner in 3 months' time here, or am I back to playing smaller tournaments like she's done here in July, the Northern Marianas Open and Saipan International, with different partners to keep her going in the women's doubles. So there's all kinds of underlying stories.
Yeah.
That's great play.
Serves over. 13 all.
What a serve.
She held it long, didn't she?
She did.
Cross. Okay.
14-13.
That's another thing. Now it's close. How is the nerves affecting Matsumoto, and especially Nagahara? Can she keep up the high level she played from the beginning of the second game?
Do you question that in your own mind because
13.
of the personalities of the Japanese pair, or because there's extra pressure? Because
Extra pressure.
they're playing at home, and then the number 4 seeds.
Yeah, and yeah, they two-time former world champions, and I think it's uninteresting to lose in the first round.
I think every athlete would agree with that.
Yeah. Last 3 rallies, she hasn't
16-13.
stood her ground. Wakana Nagahara.
4 straight points to the Koreans.
When it's this close, it's almost always an advantage being on the attack.
Another error from Nagahara.
17,
Yeah, but again,
13.
the shot before that, was that long enough from...
No, you're absolutely right. The lift, the straight lift from Matsumoto was too short.
Yeah, but well done by the Koreans, targeting the player moving back from the net, in this case Nagahara.
5 straight points now to the Koreans. This is a big point. Must win for the Japanese pair, I suspect.
Yeah.
What a rally. And that's long of the back line. And one could just tell how much the players were sensing the importance as well as us.
It got all quiet in here.
Yeah.
And Kim had the guts to play that clear towards the end that proved decisive.
6 straight points for Jeong and Kim. I'll never say never, but the momentum most definitely with the Koreans. 7 straight points.
13.
Pressure, you were talking about it.
Yeah. Well, it's not like the Koreans are without pressure, especially not Kim Hae-jung.
And finally that run comes to an end.
14.
But 7 straight points really has put the Korean pair in a very commanding position.
Good play.
Nice.
Kim.
1 point at a time. That's what they have to focus on. Going wide. Well, the Japanese pair were lucky to get away with that,
16,
Steve.
They were lucky.
19.
But I also sense that they've upped the intensity. They know that it's now or never. It's amazing badminton we're seeing here.
Oh, that was nice. A little smile from Kim to her partner, as if to say, don't worry, I'm still with you. We can still do this.
Yeah, that's super important.
16-19.
Defense.
This time they've left it, and it has indeed dropped wide of the mark.
20. Match points. 16.
And after around 12 minutes, 4 match point opportunities for the former champions Jeong and Kim. That's gone wide.
Game.
And greeted with silence by the Japanese fans. The fact that the number 4 seeds at Matsumoto and Nagahara have gone out at the first hurdle. 21-16, the deciding game from the former champions Jeong Na-eun and Kim Hae-jung.
Match won by Jeong Hae-eun and Kim Hae-eun. 21-15, 16-21, 21-16.
Umpire just confirming that score as we watched the last rally once again. Well, it was that run of 7 straight points, wasn't it? From 12-13 adrift to 19-13 up. That really was the decisive passage of play for this Korean combination. So confirmation of that scoreline, 21-15, 16-21, 21-16 in the deciding game in a match lasting an hour and 13 minutes.